listening to you.
But what I was saying was, I apologize because I thought that we really weren't going to need the block files before we did this, but I guess you kind of do. But maybe it'll make a little bit more sense once we do the block files. But I mean, there's just so many block files that you put in. And there's briefs that you put in for these little things, you know, like going to lunch, off the record discussion, jury goes out, read back. What else, Chris?
Yeah, so
Actually, go into a job, go into something that you guys have, and just push Alt-R and see what comes up. I don't even know, maybe you guys do have block files.
Yeah.
You do have block
I
files?
got it from my mentor.
Oh, you did?
Mhm.
Oh,
that was a good mentor.
yeah.
Who was that?
Was it me?
Joanne Martinez. Well, we had to take a class to produce a transcript, so she helped me with it.
You have
And
to
I
take
got
a
on it
class? What do you mean?
They offer a class here to produce a transcript.
Really? Which one?
Wasn't it- which
What
one?
am I doing?
What is it?
What am I
Class one?
doing?
Was it procedures?
No, it's not procedures. The other
Because
one.
Dave's
The very
class
end,
of
you have to produce a transcript.
The intern?
Yeah, the intern.
Oh, the internship.
Yeah, the internship.
Oh, okay.
So I have her block files.
But,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's not a class, isn't it? I mean, you don't pay for it.
No, you go sit, you have to get a certain amount of
Yeah.
hours in court. That's
Yeah.
when I went and sat with you.
Oh, okay.
You have to do certain
You have to-
depots.
Does
And
it
then you
come
have to
up?
create a transcript.
I have some.
Oh,
Go into something,
It's not
guys, and
really-
push Alt-R.
If you
Put your
get,
cursor down on somewhere and
I
just
didn't
push
really need a
Alt-R.
kernel, you know, it's just a quick.
and then go to the
But
very
I do have
bottom.
block files.
okay.
Anything in
No, go to the very bottom.
it? Is anything in it?
And then, is there one more?
And then the procedures class,
Oh, you did?
the court reporter Stephanie Clark gave us block files too.
I've got that.
I have
You
some.
got
I
yours
guess
from
the
Stephanie, didn't you?
Either Stephanie or Keith when he came and spoke to us. that
Yeah.
time.
Keith Vincent came here?
Oh, God, that was
Well, we
way
paid,
over my head.
For
Did
one
he
day.
go to that?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, he knows a lot.
That was the most intellectual
That's-
$100
that's
I've ever
everything
spent.
you need.
And I didn't
That's
get
everything. You have
anything from
everything.
it.
Yeah.
Does anybody not have it?
She doesn't. I have some.
Push Alt-R.
Go to the very bottom. Very, very bottom.
Yeah, scroll down.
His tutorials are good
No, I know.
because you can go through them at your own
Yeah.
pace.
Go to yours again?
It's kind of, class is difficult.
Yeah. Maybe to the bottom.
But she can get it.
Yeah, I mean, all you
Yeah,
have to
that
do
one.
is if you have a thumb drive, just copy all of hers. Does anybody else not have it?
She doesn't have
You
one.
don't? Okay. Well, we'll get them because I have them. And I wanted to kind of show you guys how to set it up, how to set up a block file if you didn't have it. Or for one, you wanted to tweak it. And you can go in there and tweak them to kind of whatever you want. Some of the stuff is on the uniform format rules and stuff like that. So, I mean, you kind of have to follow some rules on some of the stuff. But, I mean, some of it's just kind of whatever.
Do y'all have direct and cross and what does it look like? Can you bring one up?
Like, just go somewhere in the document, push Alt-R, and then type in DIR.
I don't have those.
If you have them, then you should have them. That makes sense. Go into a document.
Oh, an actual, just
right
anything?
there. Go up.
See, this is a correct record.
Me and David know.
I mean, he's on Facebook.
He can't even talk to me.
What are you gonna
He
do?
knows a lot
Open
about
up
Eclipse.
like
So
this.
go into a,
Rec?
get out of
He's
there,
a
go into a
smart
job.
guy.
Like
Yeah.
something.
Because I can open it from here.
We're
You
hopefully
need to
gonna
close
get
it
over our
because I
Saturday
think you're already in
class.
block.
All right.
Procedures class.
Okay, that's a job.
Oh, really? No, these are the block files. I'm
sure
just
it'll be
viewing the
fine.
block files.
Okay, yeah, close it. Close it.
So what do you do here in the document?
She has the
Push Alt-R. And then type in DIR. Oh, yeah, you need to go into block files. And then type DIR.
Do y'all see where your block files are?
We don't have one.
You don't have one? Okay.
I don't
So-
have the direct examination one.
Okay.
Near investigation,
So when you get them, they'll be. I'll go to my transcript, and the first folder is block files, and these are all my block files. But it's just a block file is another name for something that you know you're gonna have to type again, and you don't want to type. You want to let the software do the work for you, so you make it into a file.
It's a template.
Yeah, yeah,
And
template.
that index page is basically like a bibliography. It kind of just leads you to where you have to go.
Yes.
I finally got it the last time you did it. I was like, there you go.
Okay, and then so it'll be called an include file. These files will be called include files. They'll be called block files. So it all means the same thing. So when I click on direct, it's got all this information already in it that I need, and I don't change this file because this is the one I insert into a transcript. So you don't ever want to start messing with these unless you know what you're doing.
And then to erase a block file, you just delete.
To delete a block, you
No, like
delete.
if you put it in, like I just did at like a lunch. We just went on lunch. I just pushed backspace.
Uh-huh. Yeah, or you can mark it. Are you talking about in a transcript?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can mark it and hit delete or backspace.
First one was Mr. Gordon, Mr. Harris is cross.
You want to get on here, David?
Once it goes back to direct, then it knows that it was Mr. Gordon, or the guy who was doing the direct. So it's going to say, did you still want to stay with Mr. Gordon? All you have to do is push next. So it remembers. So the only time it changes is like when you go back to the direct and cross, then it changes. It knows that it's going to change the witness and all that stuff. Can you open the lesson again and go through the
Sure.
lesson and
Okay.
see if maybe you can explain? Because like what I do is I'll go through the lesson and then I play it and then go through it again and then kind of break
Sure.
down what they're saying.
Okay.
And that's why I think that they may have been a little bit confused. That was a lot of information.
All right, and Alt B.
Yeah.
Oh, why did I go to the internet? Oh, I did the wrong one.
Yeah, you did that.
Let's see how automatic indexing is possible with Total Eclipse. Eclipse automatic indexing can handle an unlimited number of categories of information.
Right here.
You just kind of pressing space bar those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this index probably looks a little bit more like state court would, where you identify what your exhibit is. So when you get block files, include files, templates for when you start working, you'll have the ones you want. And what'll make it a lot easier is like if you say you go work for Kim Tyndall and you say, okay, there's 10 reporters in this firm. I've got 2 people on Eclipse. One of them uses automatic indexing. You go to them and you say, do you do auto indexing and do you know how to do it? And does it work? So then you get their files and they show you in about 4 hours instead of you going to seminars and buying stuff and spinning your wheels and not getting anywhere. So that would be the easiest, just to find somebody, or at the courthouse, find somebody that does it.
But in this example, we have an index of examinations and an index of exhibits. I've prepared several short block files that Eclipse uses as headings to introduce the information that it automatically collects.
That was where I would hit X chrono, and I brought in this file that said index and had page right here. Yeah, everything in the red. And like I said, I don't have one for this. I should probably make one, but I just haven't.
I've also set up several paragraphs to format the information.
Okay, these arrows right here with these paragraphs and where they're at, that's where you want to pay somebody to set all that up for you, because it is really difficult. I think it is. And I think that's where a lot of people get lost, is in this part right here. So this is already set up, you already paid somebody to do it.
in different sections of my index. And
So this is what we looked at before. Everything in this red is going to be used by the index wizard at the very end. This S period right here, it's probably getting a little more in depth than you want to hear, but this S period right here is where it says, I've got my witness, it says direct examination, and then instead of just blank and then a page number, it's got a bunch of periods that follow to that number. That's all S period does. If you didn't have this, you wouldn't have a bunch of periods to go over and tell you, you know, in the index.
What is a TR1?
I'm trying to remember. I can't remember what that is.
And the P is the page?
I'm not even sure about that. I can't remember.
But like Chris was telling you guys, you don't need to worry about any of this stuff, any of the gray stuff, I don't think, right?
No.
Like this stuff, conditional page break, what that means is like if you're at the bottom or almost to the bottom of the page and it's going to take up a couple of pages, it already knows, take it to the next page. So that's what that conditional page break is, okay?
I've added index lines to a few of my block files, like the sworn file.
So he was talking about he's added these index items to his block file. So you don't want to have a block file where all you're bringing in is witness sworn, having been sworn, testify as follows, and examination. And you can do that if you're not going to use the automatic indexing. And you could even leave all this in. If you're not going to use automatic indexing, just leave it there, because it's not going to print. You're never even going to know it's there unless you happen to put your cursor in the right spot. So just leave it there. It's not going to hurt anything. And later, when you decide you might want to give it a try, automatic indexing, then you'll have it.
Which is set up to get the name of the witness and the attorney doing the examination. These block files will get inserted in the course of editing.
All right. So you can insert them in editing, and later on y'all can learn if you want to do it while you're in real time. But so this is for a chronological index, and this is for your alphabetical index. And this court witness tells the index, don't put exhibit number 5 right after this witness, because all I want are the witnesses first, and then I want the exhibits after that. So you don't have a index that looks funny with witnesses and exhibits all over the place.
No, Mr. Schmuck.
No.
Cool cat.
I'm not going to say anything.
So before proofreading and printing, I'll just place my cursor where I want the index page.
This is what we talked about. So you've already filled in all your blanks, you've put in all your automatic indexing, and you're going to hit Control-I to begin the index wizard.
Is inserted, and press Control-I for indexing. I'll index all volumes, and could even make a master index if I needed to.
So if you want to do a master index of every volume, you would select this, multiple documents. It would bring up another window, and you would select, okay, I want all of these. You would just highlight all the documents that you wanted indexed, and you would it would index them all and put them in one spot where you put your cursor and hit Control-I.
I'll be shown a preview.
Okay, so here's a preview. This is what, David, this is what's more like what y'all's looks like, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what threw me when I started going through indexing, and probably why David doesn't do it. But this 15, so they had direct on page 15, redirect on page 43, and then they might even have a further redirect, and then another further so you got like 4 numbers over here. And with the indexing, it's telling when I've crossed and recrossed and further recross, it's all going to go right here. And I don't know how it works with that. So it makes it a little more difficult.
And when I accept, my index is inserted.
Now that volume line, I don't do so I don't have a volume line, but that would just be something else that Keith Vincent or the reporter that you got to help you out at your firm might already have.
The only thing that I do different, guys, you know, that you see here is I do a direct, cross, redirect, recross. I don't leave it in the direct. So I'm only going to have one direct. So there's only going to be one number there because you're only going to direct once. The only thing about in my cross, which is going to be different from like a deposition, you're only going to have one guy that's crossing. So then you're going to have a recross, redirect. Now they may do it a couple of times, then you may have a couple of numbers in the redirect, recross, or whatever. Mine is different because I usually have 3 different numbers because we have 3 different, we have an ad litem for the kids, an ad litem for mom, and an ad litem for dad. And then you have the state. So you have 4. You have 4 people that are probably questioning that possible witness. So that's the only reason you may have 3 here in cross. Then you come back to redirect, you know, and they may do it a couple of times or whatever, but it's always going to stay the 1 on direct and whatever. So that's the only thing that mine is a little bit different on.
And then the agency we work for, they'll help us put it together. as
Well,
well.
everything is uniform format rules, so pretty much everything is kind of the same. They may tweak it a little bit, but you know, for the most part, whoever you go to work for is going to help you set it up. You know, however they want it set up. You know, so, but a lot of it is uniform format rules, so they have to follow the rules pretty much. But they may tweak it just a bit.
Within these short presentations, it's not possible to show all that Eclipse Automatic Index.
And then kind of get out and maybe scroll down and see what else they talked about.
Is there ever a time when you don't need an index?
Show me how to do that. When you won't need an index? Yeah, like I don't do indexes on pleas or sentencings or it's only when I've got a witness and
Huh? We're giving class. You guys get out. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, so there are times when you don't do an index, you don't have to worry about it.
But for all depositions.
And then what it kind of does is it'll go through and kind of explains what you just went through. Like,
Oh, okay.
if you want to adjust the, you know, any of that
What
stuff.
is
So it
that?
kind of explains what it kind of went through, what you just went through.
Okay.
And then it'll give you another, like, little topic, show, hide, print commands. So then you
Okay.
kind of click on there and kind of go through.
Okay.
I may have to charge you for the class, but
I know it. I'm liking this.
this is awesome.
My software is great. All right, so show, hide, print commands. I'm not sure what that's going to be about.
Eclipse print commands include such things as page breaks and comment lines. For a nice clean screen, you can have these pop in and out of view, or if you prefer, remain visible at all times. Here I've highlighted several print commands, and you're seeing.
All right, so you'd want a page break like after your index page, so you didn't have to say, you know, paragraph, 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 so you got the index to start right on page 2, line 1. Instead, you just insert a page break, and it knows, all right, now I'm ready to start with the second page. Comment line would be for like a scopist. I've never used comment lines. Headers, we have to do headers in federal court. And these are all things in gray that are not going to show up when you print. And then you have your index line that we talked about, and your conditional break, where you don't want the witness to start on, you know, the witness's name on line 25 of the page before, and then you start by Mr. So-and-so.
Them because my cursor is actually on one of them. When I move my cursor, the print commands will hide themselves, and you'll once again see the text box. You have a choice. You can have the print commands visible at all times, or automatically hidden whenever your cursor is not resting on one of them.
And I don't like having my print commands come up because it's confusing. I'll miss text, and I'm not looking at the words, and they're not important unless I want to look at them. So then I'll leave mine to where I just arrow on it, and it'll come up.
Use the toolbar icon or the menus or speed key Alt-U to go to the display section of your user settings. If you want the print commands visible at all times, put a check in the box next to print commands. And if you want the print commands automatically hidden whenever you're not on one of them, remove the check. Here are 2 display-related speed keys worth remembering. Shift-Control F10 quickly switches from showing your print commands.
You're hardly ever going to use that, so I wouldn't even try memorizing it. Like, I've never used that before. And you're going to just set it the way you want it probably and leave it that way.
At all times, to hiding them automatically. Whereas Shift-Control F12 just puts a number of display options at.
And so, David, how do I get out of this?
Go into File
All right.
and exit.
All right. Place your cursor here. Okay, so we went over that, and that's on your handout about the Alt-R, and that's assuming you don't write it in real time. This is like editing, and you're going to insert this. So you would do Alt-R that y'all did a while ago, and you inserted a block file, include file, template. Okay. Yeah, so I just insert the witness's name, the attorney. You can.
It'll let you do it if you like click on like block.
Okay.
But there was a block rewrite by Alt-R. Just click right here
Okay.
and then push E. And then it'll take you. It's kind of like a. It's kind
Oh,
of a
okay.
lesson, yeah.
Okay. All right. So I have exhibit number 3. Enter. And now my description of that is a camera taken at the scene. And Jones one. Yeah, so you don't. This is the most important part to take away from this today is you don't have to understand all these indexing commands because it's super confusing. And I would just try to find somebody, like I said, that is already doing it and go get them to help you. Because when you start court reporting, you're going to have plenty to worry about besides, how to do an index, and nobody's going to expect you to know how to do one.
But you're gonna know a little bit, You're gonna have seen it at least. I mean, like when we got out, I don't know that you did either, but I mean, I didn't know the first thing about putting a job together. When you're on your internship, maybe they were supposed to teach you. I don't know, but we really didn't know any of that stuff. You guys are at least gonna know what we need to do. You know what? This is where the title, appearance, index page, all of that stuff goes. So you're going to kind of know already. So when they're talking about it, you're going to know it already. Okay.
Y'all are way ahead. I started on a Monday. I took 4 depositions that week. I bought a computer on like Thursday and started trying to put a transcript together that I'd never done before. And I stayed up there till like 2 in the morning one night, took a deposition the next day. I think I got maybe 10 pages done that night. And so I'm already behind. I take another deposition Friday, stay up really late. My computer crashes, I lose everything Friday at like midnight. And I was like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. And my tape recorder didn't work, and I had a doctor. I remember that. And
That's where you're here.
yeah, so it was really, really bad. So y'all already having a computer, and you already know you have software, you know how to get around in it.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, you have no idea how much more advanced you guys are. And that's why I tell you, every week when we go over stuff, use it. Because you're going to be that much further advanced when you get out. Knowing all of this stuff, knowing how to put in block files, knowing, how to If you need, a fixed line instead of a parenthetical or a byline or whatever, you're gonna know all of that stuff, everything.
I had a question about that. I was talking to her about it during class the other day. Whenever I edit my test,
Mhm.
because I try to use some of the things that we do, and whenever I edit it and I do something,
Yeah.
it goes straight to the bottom of the page. Not all the time, but about 90% of the time. It moves, and then I try to do the the Alt Z thing,
Yeah.
and it doesn't work. I don't know if something's checked
You
off.
have multi on.
Okay, so how
You
do I
have that
turn
multi,
multi off?
you have that multi.
Multi-scan.
And it's Control Shift M, I believe.
Control.
That can be frustrating.
Dude, I called you about that.
Maybe that's it, because it just went
And
off.
every time you're doing something, you insert something, it takes you down to the bottom. So then I have to go back up.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I did
Okay.
it about 20 times before I picked
Because
the computer
this-
up, and I'm like, call Chris. And if Chris doesn't know, then I'm breaking the computer.
Yeah. I said, there's a tutorial on that. I don't know how to get to it. There's a
But I
tutorial.
know there's one on it.
Yeah.
Because on Wednesday, I had a hell of a task. I edited everything. I was about to save them as a PDF and email them to myself, print them out over there. And my whole system started freezing up. I couldn't do anything in Eclipse. And it kept messing up before that.
Trust me.
And so I had to spend an hour down with the computer guys. We were talking about Comic-Con for an hour.
Trust me, you.
He's a really cool guy. But he showed me his costumes.
Well, yeah.
My computer crashed.
Anyway.
He's really.
Anywho.
Did he show you his costumes?
I think that's about it. So Control I's begins the automatic index wizard. You've got your preview. You make sure your page numbers line up with what it's trying to tell you they are. And you accept it. Let's try this. So your turn, so I do that and hit.
No, that's like a assignment you do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I don't want to do
that. So I see. Thank you, Chris.
All right.
Guys, if you have questions, ask him right now. Anything. Anything.
We might next week after we do the block files.
He's coming back. Don't
Okay.
worry. He's coming back. He's gonna make another cameo.
Yeah.
No, actually, I may try to get you to come back because I want
Okay.
to do kind of a court in a deposition setting. So I want to get
All
maybe
right.
you and maybe Kay or
Okay.
maybe Mary, somebody. But I'll let you know. We're probably about 3 weeks out, maybe 2 or 3 weeks out. So I'll let you know in
All right.
advance. And it'll be on a Monday because these clowns come on a Monday. So we'll do it on a Monday.
All right.
But, I mean, do you have any questions, guys, about this indexing? Because I'm telling you, once he leaves,
He's coming back.
yeah, in 3 weeks. And I'm telling you, and it's
We'll have our
not like you're gonna.
Yeah.
questions for you then.
Yeah, I'll be back.
And the question is, sure, the thing rolls out 55
Once we
feet.
get like those I have
Yeah.
block files, but once we get them, we could get one of our Q&As from class
Sure.
and just start playing.
And
with it.
that's what I'm telling you guys to do.
Inserting the
That's what I'm telling you to do with all of this stuff that we do every week, is use the little stuff that we use, every week, no matter what it is, and go into something where even if you mess it up and you don't know how to get back, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to make any difference. Okay?
You must. Never been reset.
You will. What's it?
Can you show me how to get rid of for some reason something else
Okay. And is there any other questions, guys, about any of the stuff that we covered tonight, the auto indexing? Nothing? Zero?
I finally understood what it was. I didn't understand what it was.
Well, you're not alone.
Sorry.
Yeah.
How come you don't do it? Just because you don't know how to do it?
It's like Chris said, it's hard. It's really,
Has
it's
it convinced
difficult.
you to look into it or no?
Yeah, it kind of has.
Okay.
But mine is a little bit different, so I'm going to have to talk to somebody else because he sets his up totally different.
I can't even help. I
Can you
couldn't
call
even help
Keith and
David.
have
Yeah.
him send something?
I'm probably going to have to.
You have to pay us
And
every-
he's it's not for free. So I mean, you have to get somebody that knows how to do it, and then they're going to charge you or whatever. But